Hello, Namaste, this is Madhav. Every year, lakhs of students go abroad to pursue higher education. There are tens of countries, hundreds of courses and thousands of colleges to choose from. They definitely require an expert guidance and expert assistance. Today, we are joined by Mrs. Radha, Senior Counselor, Shaurya Consultancy Private Limited. Let us talk to her and know why students prefer to study overseas, what are the different advantages that they have, what are the different procedures they need to follow before getting an admission into foreign universities. Hello ma'am.
Hello Anil.
Every year lakhs of students go abroad for higher education. I mean, there are many universities of repute in India also offering many courses, but why do students prefer to go overseas for higher education?
Okay, there are many advantages of doing higher education in overseas like USA, UK, Australia, New Zealand, and we have many more countries available all over the world. So the main motto of a student is the student will develop a lot of communication skills compared to India, and at the same time the student will learn more practical knowledge compared to theoretical knowledge. Here in India we have a very famous institutes, very large number of universities. So here our teaching motto is more into a theoretical and lesser into a practical knowledge, whereas in higher education in overseas they have more practical oriented teaching, more as research oriented teaching, and the student also will develop a lot of communication skills. If a student completes masters in higher education like in USA or UK, he will have a lot of demand in companies also. He will be paid higher salaries compared to a masters in India. So there are many advantages like that. Even after completion of the masters, if a student comes back to India, he will have a lot of recognition in local companies or as international multinational firms. They give more preference to a international educated student because he is more adaptable, more communicatable, and he is more open to any type of situation and he can handle any kind of situation. So this is the main intention of overseas education, and even many students take it as a status symbol nowadays. And also the fees is also very reachable to a local student or a middle class student. Like the fees is starts from even 6 lakhs per year, it ends up to even 20-25 lakhs also. It depends upon the university and courses also. So if the student want to do his masters here in India, he has to take some examinations like ISET and all. He has to go for that examination. After selection only he will go for his higher education here. In the same way, the student has to go for IELTS or GRE or TOEFL as it is for the universities in overseas education. So he will take that examinations and he will go in the same price. Like here also the student has to spend some 2 lakhs to 3 lakhs a year. So in higher education 6 lakhs, a little more. But the main advantage in overseas education is there is earning while studying. Like the student can earn while studying, where that the option is not there in India. Like every country offers 20 hours part-time work permit for a student to work with. So for 1 hour the student will earn up from $8 to even $12 per hour he can earn. So he can have his living expenses from his earnings itself. So that is also a major advantages. And some students even choose like the student want to go and settle down there. Many students look at that also. So after completion of masters, the student will have 2 years to 3 years of work permit. He can work and settle down there after completion of the education. These are the main advantages.
Okay. So what are the prerequisites a student needs to fulfill before he can get into a foreign university?
There are different examinations like IELTS, TOEFL, GRE. So if the student plans for USA, the student has to take GRE plus IELTS or TOEFL. Or else if for the remaining all the university, the student has to go with IELTS or TOEFL. So it depends, like some universities ask for 60% and some universities even accept with 50%. It depends upon our profile. So a selection of university will depend upon our academic percentage, our backlogs, and the IELTS or TOEFL scores. and our intermediate percentages also do matter in selection of the universities. Many universities choose this, look at these requirements, and they'll offer a seat in a for a student.
Okay. Ma'am, the Shaurya consultancy has been in operation since 2006. So what are the different services does Shaurya consultancy provide for students?
Okay. See, Shaurya provides like overall A to Z services that are required for a student to go abroad. Like first, the student needs a proper guidance for his coaching, like he has to go for his IELTS or GRE TOEFL, and after that he has to have a career guidance, like the student see, like if your student is a B Pharmacy student, he has some opportunities in USA and some other opportunities. He has his own advantages in different countries. First of all, the student should know, like for if he takes a master's in which country, there are what are the advantages. So according to that, the student has to shortlist his universities. Once shortlisting the universities, he has to apply, and we will give the proper guidance for the applications to get an I-20s for him. After getting an I-20, the student has to go for visa, and in between the student has to arrange his finance documents also. So some countries ask for 15 lakhs and some ask for 20 lakhs of funding over here. So after visa, he has to land safely in the destination country. So starting from coaching onwards till he lands in the destination country, and he sees the accommodation, till there we will give the complete guidance for a student.
So you even offer coaching for the GRE, TOEFL and IELTS?
Right.
We even offer. Okay. So ma'am, every country is not in equal demand. I mean, some countries are being preferred more than the other countries.
Right.
Which countries do students generally prefer more?
Okay, like it depends upon our courses actually. If a IT or CSC students, mostly he choose like USA or Canada. If a student plans for a MBA, then the student choose Canada and UK. So it depends upon the course which we want to take. It depends the country, like some courses have a lot of demand in some countries, so according to that we have to apply for the universities in that particular countries. So mostly the student preferences are keep on changing. Anyways, the first country was the USA, most of the students prefer, but nowadays the students are coming to other countries also. Now Europe also has a lot of demand, so the student choice is also continuously changing from one to other.
You mentioned that USA is in most demand. So why do you think the USA is in more demand than the other countries?
Actually, from past years also, most of the people in India or else in some states in our villages also, most of the people know only USA. Like if the student wants to go for a master's, USA, the first option is USA. So actually there are a lot of opportunities in USA also. The student gets 5 years visa at a single stretch. So if a student apply for 2 years of masters, he will get 5 years of visa. So if he get a job in these 5 years, he can apply for even green card. So many opportunities are there, and at the same time the student can work while studying, like 20 hours part time is there. He can work for part time and he can earn his living expenses also. So it is a most preferable country among us.
Okay, if you come to the Australia is the nearby country which is preferred by Indians. So I mean, what advantages the students will have while studying in Australia?
Okay, see, compared to USA, Australia, why the students prefer is the visa guarantee part. Like for USA, the student has to attend an interview with the visa consulate here. The visa is not always guaranteed. Like the student has to attend an interview. So depending upon the interview, there is a chance of getting the visa, or else he will get rejection. Whereas in Australia, that is not the issue. Like the student has the Dropbox option. So the student will get a telephonic interview in this also. But the main advantages of Australia is there is a 2 years of masters in Australia. Only very limited universities are there, not thousands of universities like USA. Only limited 40 to 45 universities are there in Australia. So in this, the main advantage is there is a 40 hours part-time work permit for the student to work with, and after completion of 2 years, the student will have 2 years of post-study work permit, like a temporary residency they call it as. So after this 4 years, even the student can apply for PR. and the courses are also a lot of demand is there, like telecommunications, pharmacy. This type of courses have a lot of demand in Australia. So the fee structure is also like it varies from 8 to 10 lakhs per year. It is almost similar to USA. But most of the students nowadays preferring for Australia because they have loosened the rules. The rules are very easier now. So the student the getting the visa also, it is very easy in Australia.
No, if you take the New Zealand, which is a neighboring country to Australia, and Indians prefer going to New Zealand also. And how do
Yeah.
you compare New Zealand with respect